Welcome to the Hoof and Fang podcast. I'm Kirt Graves.
And I'm Maz Maddox.
Another week, another episode, another book coming out.
Yeah.
Another month.
Yeah.
God, they never stop.
They never stop.
They just keep coming.
Yes.
How are you? What's new with you? What's going on?
Let me think. Still working on wild contract stuff.
You think?
Let me think. I got... Stop laughing at me.
It's just that we know we're doing this.
I know. Well, I'm like
oh, you took me.
I wasn't
you took me by
expecting
surprise
this.
with your question.
No, I'm like, what did I mention last week? I had to like think about it. Did I talk about getting my beta notes last week? I don't think so.
I
don't remember. That's what I was like. Let me think. Right? Did I talk about that? I don't remember. I got, I think, officially all of my beta notes back for wild contracts. Okay. So, and I'm suspicious because there were not a lot of rewrites. There was just like a couple of like little sections that they were like, oh, this doesn't make sense or whatever. But for the most part, it was just a like check mark. And so I'm like, really? I mean, I should be thrilled, but instead I'm like, I'm scared. You
guys slacking off.
Yeah, exactly. Did you actually read it?
Where are my deep criticisms?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like if they're not like ripping it to pieces, I'm always like a little freaked out by it. But I did not get shreds back. I got like just a couple little tears to finish. And I was like, okay, hot damn, that's awesome. So that's good.
Nice. And when will that be released?
So I don't know exactly. Like my hope is May, but I want to make sure I can give a definite pre-order window for book 3 just because of the nature of the series.
Yes.
So yeah, tentative May, but I need to nail down some last minute like smudgy bits on my outline for book 3 that I'm working out with Jess. Okay. And then I'm hoping that this weekend, if I can be left alone, I can knock out the first couple chapters and kind of feel if it's the direction I want to go. And then I'll be able to be like, oh, okay, for sure. If I keep it this pace, like I can have book 3 ready by this time. So it makes sense to release book 2 at this time. Right. So this is a total different cadence than my normal stuff, which is typically as soon as my line edits are done, I'm like pre-orders up and I have to like sit on it and wait and I'm going insane. Like I hate this. So yeah, it's weird. I don't like being in this like not sure window because it's technically done other than the like edit, like somebody going in and having a professional editing eye on it. But yeah, I want to say May is my fingers crossed window.
I mean, that
not
seems
bad.
Reasonable.
Yeah, it's not too far out there.
At this point in the middle of February.
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, we'll say May.
May.
Yeah.
And then by the middle of April, you'll be like, oh God.
Yeah, exactly. May. Why did I fucking say this?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. I also finished my first Relic short, so that's done. And I got some art commissioned that'll be on the Patreon.
Ooh.
I'm very excited. So I'm waiting for the artists to send me the sketches so I can try to do a little tease. But I want to wait to release the shorts until I have the art ready so that I can release it at the same time because they go together. Right. So I'm like, yes.
And by shorts, you mean short stories.
Yes, short stories. Sorry.
Not shorts that one could wear with this artwork on it.
Yes, correct.
Although.
That would be cute. I'd wear that.
We could maybe.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, maybe I can make like little patches. And you can put them on your shorts.
There you go.
I like it.
Little iron on though, because people don't like to have to sew.
I don't like sewing, so I'm the iron on person.
Right.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. So that's what I have going on.
Okay.
What about you?
I am recording our audiobook of the month this week.
Yes.
Comes out on Friday.
I love it.
Start recording it Monday. Why not?
Yeah.
This is life.
Yeah. It's part of it.
When you're putting an audiobook out by yourself, you can cut out a lot of the nonsense. But yeah, like as previously advertised, it's just a little nugget of a story. So it's not going to take me more than 3 days to record. And it's low angst but still with feels for Valentine's Day. So yeah, it's going well. And that's what we're doing this week. Yeah. Well, I've been proofing it. So I agree. It is low angst, but lots of feelings. Like these characters are lovely. Yeah. So I've just been enjoying it. Exactly. With just a little bit of the fantasy fiction that we love. Yeah. It's like a little kiss. Yeah. 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 I really like it. Just a soupçon. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's perfect. Yes. So yeah, I'm excited. I think people will like it. It's a nice little treat. So. Yeah. Yeah. So that will be coming out today. Yeah. Today, it'll be when the podcast comes out. Once again, Two different times. We're in the future right now, coming to you from the past. So yes, that is Faces by A.M. Rose. Our dear listeners woke up with that in their book funnel accounts today. And if they didn't, they should check Patreon for the special link that they have there. And if you are one of our dear readers, you have 40% off at our online store that you can snatch it up right now if you want.
Yes.
Or you might want to wait until next week.
We do have something special going on next week.
We have been teasing an announcement, and it is finally time to reveal that we are celebrating the most important holiday of the year, Leap Day.
Yes. This is a national holiday for us at Hoof and Fang.
It comes but once every 4 years. It is almost supernatural in its existence.
Indeed.
We just get an extra day every 4 years.
As a treat.
How odd.
Yeah. Very weird.
Thanks,
I like it.
Earth going around the sun at a not perfect interval. And so, we're celebrating February 29th this year by putting all of our audiobooks on sale for $2.99.
Yes.
This is a huge discount. You will never see them this inexpensive again. We're practically giving them away.
Yeah.
At this point, which is why we will only do this sale once every 4 years.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so on February 29th, and you may want to check the website a few times depending on what time zone you're in, because I don't even know how that's going to work out.
Yeah.
It knows what time zone we're in.
Yeah.
Does it know what time zone you're in? I don't know.
It probably rolls over on our time zone, so it'll be midnight central. So you'll just have to.
Right. We are in U.S. Central Time, so keep an eye on it. But in theory, on February 29th for 24 hours, you can get any one of our audiobooks. That's Gardens and Ghosts, all the way through Faces.
Yep.
Every single one is available on February 29th for $2.99. You can snag them if you haven't already. You can give them as gifts.
Yeah, there's that possibility if you go through our online store, which is a great gift. It looks like you're like gifting a whole hours of entertainment for $3.
And then when they look at the real price the next day, they're going to be like, oh my God, you were so generous.
Right?
Thank you so much. But basically for like the cost of one of our audiobooks, you could get all of them.
Yeah.
So now is the time to snatch them if you haven't. If you were afraid to dip your toe in the waters of book funnel, if that was scaring you away, we're hoping this incentivizes you to say like, well, this is too good of a deal to pass up. I'm going to go get those books.
Yeah.
So, and to lead up to that, if you are a subscriber to our regular podcast feed, you'll be seeing that we are going to be releasing previews of every book every day in the podcast feed starting today.
Yes.
February 23rd, Friday, until it comes out or the deal happens on February 29th.
Yeah.
So that we're also giving you the opportunity to get a little sample, to like listen and see if the story is for you, to like share it with friends and be like, hey, if you haven't listened to this, here's this preview.
Yeah.
And you can buy the book on the 29th for super cheap. So Leap Day sale here at Hoof and Fang Audio. Why? Why not?
Yeah, why the hell not? Comes once every 4 years. Like, we got to do something.
You gotta do something.
Right.
Got to do something. So,
awesome.
So that has been our teased special announcement. February 29th, everything goes on sale. So make sure if you already have everything, make sure you tell a friend.
Yeah, there you go. That's a huge benefit for us. So if you're already a subscriber, you already have everything. First off, we love you. And secondly, you can help out tons by just blasting on social media, telling your friends about it. Like, everything's cheap as hell. There's no excuse to not just grab everything.
Right. And if your friends love the books you gave them, perhaps they would want to join Hoof and Fang Patreon at the dear listener level and continue to get that great deal. Yeah. Monthly, because $10 for an audiobook is still a great deal, regardless.
Yes, agreed.
The very few times we will put them on sale.
Yeah.
These sales will not come around often. So
right.
So it is February, and we are in the midst of awards season.
Yes.
We have had the Golden Globes, the Grammys, the Emmys, many more.
Yes.
There was a football game surrounding Usher's halftime show.
Yes. It's weird that they showed up for that.
Right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
I was like, you guys, we're here for a concert.
Yeah. Well, stop throwing the ball around, weirdos.
Jeez. So this week, we are presenting the Hoofies.
I love that so much.
And the Fangies.
The Fangies, Hoofies and Fangies.
We're both giving out awards.
Yes.
We are each picking a piece of pop culture from 2023 to celebrate in 6 categories. Mm-hmm. Are you ready?
Yes.
I should have prepared like music.
I also felt like we should have dressed up or something. Like we should have like made this a whole pageant thing. We can do that next year.
Maybe next year.
Yeah.
If we do this again.
Yeah.
Well, we're still doing this next year.
Yeah. We'll get some fake
and we
champagne.
Remember around this time, like, hey, when we did that, remember? Yeah.
Yeah. It's fast forward. We're going to be like, oh yeah. And we're going to be just like this again.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Well, this is more us.
Yeah, I know.
Dressed up. That sounds uncomfortable. All right. So our first category is favorite book adaptation, TV or film.
Yes. So quick question. Since this is our first year doing it, can I pick something that was from 2022? Just for this category?
I mean, I feel like you waited till we were on the podcast for this production note. Because what am I going to say? No.
I have a backup in case you were like, no, it has to be 2023.
I suppose we can let it go.
Okay.
But next year.
Yeah. Oh, I was like,
we're being really serious about this.
That's fine. That's totally fine. But I was like, this one was like one of my super favorites. So I was like, oh, I wonder if he'd let me just scooch it. Like just a couple
You could have just lied.
Well, people would look it up.
Well, yeah, but then it would have been too late.
Yeah. I've been like, oh, my bad.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
all right. So mostly celebrating 2023.
Yes, mostly. Okay. So mine are...
The nominees are
for the Hoofies. Season 2 of Heartstopper. Season 2 of Good Omens. And the thing that came out in 2022 that we're ignoring is Interview with the Vampire, the AMC adaptation.
Okay.
Which all of those are amazing. But my winner is Interview with the Vampire, which shocks no one because I asked for special rules. But yes, that one
would have been weird if you gave it to something else.
I know. I was like, haha, just kidding. Yeah, I would throw this huge fit and then give it to Heartstopper. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, that was even though it came out in 2022, my absolute favorite thing that they've done with that franchise, or that IP, I guess. Like they had the original movie, which was fantastic, but the reimagining of it for this series, my favorite. A+, so good.
All right.
Yeah. Have you seen it?
No.
Okay. Well,
I heard bad things.
Really? A lot of people, I think it was very divisive. A lot of people didn't like what they did with Louis, but I'm like, okay, it's fucking amazing. And Anne Rice was involved. She rewrote him for this. Because his original character was set in the 1800s and he was like a slave owner. And she was like, maybe don't tell that story. Like, what if we make it in the early 1910s and we make Louis a black man in New Orleans, like making his way. And I'm like, that's freaking cool. Better. Yeah, it's way better. It's way more interesting. Great. So yeah, highly recommend.
Awesome.
That's my Hoofie.
All right.
What about you?
So the Fangy for favorite book adaptation, TV or film. Mm-hmm. The nominees are Red, White, and Royal Blue.
Of course.
The Casey McQuiston novel adapted to a movie on Amazon Prime. Heartstopper Season 2.
Of course.
By Alice Oseman, adapted by Netflix as a TV series. Survival of the Thickest by Michelle Buteau, which is on Netflix.
I've never seen that.
Survival of the Thickest was Michelle Buteau's collection of essays, which they've turned into a rom-com-y sitcom.
Oh, okay.
And it was so good. I love Michelle Buteau.
Okay.
She also hosted the Audies last year, so she's down with the audiobooks. We love that. But I just think she's hilarious. She has a sharp, biting sense of humor, and I like that.
Awesome. And
the Fangy goes to Heartstopper Season 2.
Nice.
So they got an award anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, that was going to be if you were absolutely not, I was like, all right, Heartstopper wins. But it's hard to beat that when it's literally panel by panel from the comic. They shot it so true to that. It's amazing.
I'm not even aware of that because I haven't read the books, but
they do a great job.
I just think they've done such a wonderful job with that television show, and the actors are all amazing, and I love it. So
yeah, good choice.
Yeah, great. All right. Our second category is favorite book cover for the Hoofies.
For the Hoofies.
The nominees are
Lore and Lust by Carla Nicole. Beautiful freaking cover. A Strange and Stubborn Endurance by Foz Meadows. I fucking love that cover. Every time it comes across my feed, I pause and look at it. I'm like, yep, it's that one. Every single time. And then, just because I love this one, Gideon the Ninth by Pam's Min Mirror. That's one of my favorite covers of all time.
There's no way that book came out in 2023.
It didn't, but I couldn't find another one I liked. So
you're just making shit up left and right here.
Yes. No, I was like, okay, no, I love that one too much. So what's going on here? But like, I'm such a fan of illustrated covers, and that one just tells an entire story just right off the gate. So I love it. But since Gideon's basically disqualified, and I knew that going into this, the Hoofy goes to Lauren Lust because that cover is gorgeous. So gorgeous. It's like illustrated and it's got just one half of the character's face. I haven't read it yet, but it's like, it's got flowers on one side and it's just beautiful. So yeah, that one's on my to be read list and it's just so pretty.
The Queen Vampire romance?
I think so. Let me see. I don't know if it's
that is beautiful.
Yeah, right?
That is beautiful. Yeah.
Gorgeous.
All right. For the Fangies, the favorite book cover, the nominees are A Circle of Stars by Craig Montgomery.
So pretty.
A book so beautiful. I ended up narrating the audiobook just because I liked the cover so much.
It is really good.
Ander and Santi Were Here by Johnny Garza Villa.
Nice.
A beautiful illustrated cover of two beautiful boys.
Love it.
It says so much about what the book is about just based on their expressions.
Okay.
And because I had to acknowledge Chris Sickle, who is the artist who does most of TJ Klune's covers for Tor now. I picked one of the books that came out in 2023 that he did, and I picked Raven Song.
Of course.
But really, it could have been any of them. We have hanging in our office the print of the Wolf Song
Those
book
are
cover.
So cool.
The way he uses paper sculpture to create these scenes and settings, and then they become books. We have to acknowledge his incredible work in 2023 and hope that relationship continues. But the Fangy goes to A Circle of Stars.
Of course.
Come on.
I mean,
come on.
Let's be real here.
Like,
I do love that cover a lot.
A book cover so good that I recorded a whole audiobook for it.
That's hard to beat. Like, that's going to win. That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. So, the next category is favorite bookstore.
So, this one doesn't even seem fair because I've talked about like just one bookstore for like a year. But I was able
to had to come up with the nominees.
I know. So, I've got just two because there's a local bookstore here, but I haven't even visited. And I've never been able to go to the one in Sheboygan that you like so much. So I couldn't, in all good conscience, put that one on there. So I've got two. There's one called...
She's only been to two bookstores this year, guys.
I know. Well, I travel the distance for one in particular. But there's one I actually have a tentative road trip plan to go visit. It's called Green Dragon Bookshop in Iowa.
Okay.
They are a fan of me, and they tagged me on social media for something. So it's just this cute little queer bookstore. It's adorable, and it's like 6 hours away. So I'm going to go make a trip and go visit and say hi. So they're on my nominees, even though I've never been there.
Good enough.
Yeah, good. I was like, you win. I love you. But the other one's Paper Crane.
Of course.
Which I go visit multiple times and have spent tons of money because I like every time I show up, Rebecca and Kyle are like, look at this. And I'm like, I'll take 5.
Right.
So shocking to no one, the Hoofy goes to Paper Crane, which I'm going with Rebecca to Green Dragon Bookshop because they also know each other.
That's really good.
Yeah. So we're going to go together and visit the bookstore and say hi.
Nerdy road trip.
Yeah, dude. I'm into it.
When are you going?
I think in April.
Okay. So I assumed Paper Crane would end up on your list. For those who are listening who might be in the area, it's in Two Rivers. You should go check it out.
Yes.
Independent bookstore. Very queer friendly.
Yes. Big queer representation, but they have everything in stock. Like, and they're both so well read that like if you show up and you're like, I like this, they can help you out. Like they can recommend some good stuff.
Right. So, and they let my dogs come into the store.
They're very puppy friendly.
When we visited with the puppies, they were like, just bring them in.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah. They love that.
All right. So for me, for the Fangies, the nominees are Greenlight Bookstore in Greenpoint, Brooklyn, which is the event. They hosted the event with TJ Klune earlier this year that I was a part of and Daniel Henning was a part of. So
nice.
These are all very self-promotional. Like if people didn't figure out that's what we were doing here. I also nominated Paper Crane in Two Rivers.
Love it.
Because they let my dogs come in.
That's a big one.
And they were lovely.
Yeah.
And I nominated Word Haven, which is in my hometown of Sheboygan, Wisconsin. It is a queer-owned independent bookstore. They do all sorts of cool events. I am just so proud that my hometown has a space like this.
Yeah.
And the Fangy goes to Wordhaven.
Of course.
Because
yeah,
I just love that they exist in my hometown.
Yeah.
So if you're passing through Sheboygan, Wisconsin, make sure to check out Wordhaven Bookstore. It is on 8th Street, which is sort of the main stretch of the center of town.
Sweet.
Check it out. Very cool space.
I need to just like take an afternoon, skip work, just drive down there and like
don't you
check
mean
it out.
On your lunch?
On my lunch. I'd have to take an extended lunch because it takes a hot minute to get down there. So
yeah, almost as long as getting to Two Rivers.
I know. Yeah.
Such a long drive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, it's I love these independent bookstores that are local and that are queer friendly and queer owned, and it's just yeah, it's an awesome thing to see happening here in 2024 when there's a lot of other bullshit that sucks.
Yeah, that's very true.
So, our next category, favorite new to me author.
So I'm going to cheat a little bit because we've discussed this. I'm not skipping years. I'm keeping it in 2023, so you can't be mad anymore about that.
Well, let's see how else you're cheating before we make a determination.
But I'm really crappy about like buying a bunch of books and then not actually reading them. 2, I've been in somewhat of a book slump last year. Like I could not figure out like what the hell I wanted to read. So this getting to do this podcast with you has actually helped because I've discovered a bunch of authors who I probably wouldn't have picked up.
Right.
So I have M.N. Bennett on here because I loved 3 Meant to Be. I thought that was such a fun book. It was like freaking X-Men vibes the entire way. Right. So loved it.
And we got that submission in 2023.
We did.
So
yeah, even though the book did not come out in 2023, I think it was the year before that, but we recorded it or we got the submission in 2023. So it counts. And then a good friend of mine who I've known for a long time, I am a jerk and didn't actually read any of his books until last year. But his name is Noah Steele. He writes low angst, insta love, fluffy, like contemporary romances. Super sweet. I love the way he describes things. Like, and he's a big nerd. So like most of his stories involve like gaming and stuff. So love it. Highly recommend.
We're very pro nerd here.
Yes. Yes. And then while they did not come out last year, they're new to me, K.A. Applegate. I've been enjoying the shit out of those books. Like, legit look forward to reading them every week. So I was like, you know what? I think it counts, even though I'm so tardy to the party.
There's no part of that doesn't count.
Okay, cool.
It's a new to you author in 2023.
All right. Even though they've been out for 20 plus years, I'm like, I just started reading them. But I would say...
And the Hoofy
goes to K.A. Applegate, just because I'm just so invested into this series now. Like, you legit love these kids.
Yeah.
So yeah, K.A. Applegate gets it.
Awesome. Yeah. And if you don't know, we are recapping that whole series over in our Patreon podcast feed. So
yeah, highly recommend.
If you're not a subscriber, or you're not taking advantage of that benefit, you can listen to us in the Patreon app, or you can get in the Patreon app a special RSS feed that is unique to you as a subscriber, and you can enter it into any podcast app, and you can be listening to those episodes every Wednesday when they come out.
Yes. Good stuff.
So, for the Fangies, the favorite new to me author, the nominees are M.A. Wardell, who wrote Teacher of the Year and Mistletoe and Mishigas. I got to know him because he hired me to narrate those books, and I love them. Jesse Q. Sutanto, who wrote Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It is. It's so much fun. Eunice Wong is a narrator who I am acquainted with. I wouldn't say we're friends yet, but we're going to get there.
Okay.
And she narrated the audiobook and was getting all sorts of praise for it. So that week when I was building cabinets in my garage, I listened. This was one of the audiobooks I listened to.
Nice.
Because I loved it so much, and I had never listened to that author before.
Okay.
And getting another shout out, Craig Montgomery for A Circle of Stars.
Yeah.
Because I not only loved the cover of the book, but once I read the book, I loved the book.
Yeah.
And so he was new to me in 2023. Loved the book, and was very excited to be able to read it, and looking forward to the second book, which will be coming out in the future. At some point.
Nice.
And the Fangy goes to M.A. Wardell.
Nice. Excellent.
Not the least of which because he is so good at promoting everything on TikTok that I regularly see the books coming across my feed, and he is so sweet to always tag me when somebody says something nice about the audiobook. So
yay, awesome. Fantastic.
Yes, thank you, M.A. Wardell. Did I tell you that Alice Oseman probably listened to my audiobook?
You did.
Yeah.
It's so exciting.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of that book of Teacher of the Year.
So
by
cool.
Emma Wardell. So that's a cool thing that happened. Our final category of the Hoofies and the Fangies. Favorite queer public figure.
So is this just people who like I discovered in 2023 or can it be anybody? Okay. Just wanted
people
to make
who
sure.
did cool shit in 2023.
Okay. So I've got 2 that I actually stumbled across from Instagram. They're just like influencers. And then I've got one who's an actor. So my first one is Mercury.
And the nominees are.
I'm sorry. I'm getting excited. And I'm jumping ahead. I know. Okay. The nominees are Mercury Stardust, who is the handyman. Fucking love her so much. Her laugh is infectious as shit. And I actually learned stuff. So it's nice. I'm like, oh, I know how to hang stuff without it being crooked now. Thank you. Right. And then the other one, next nominee, is Jeffrey Marsh, who's a non-binary person discussing trans rights and unpacking trauma and things like that.
Okay. That's a new to me name.
Oh, I love them so much. They are very big on self-love and acceptance. They also tackle like getting some really nasty comments because they are very male presenting, but they're very feminine in how they dress and everything. So they're really good at just being like taking these nasty comments and like kind of unpacking them so people understand why that they are feeling the way they are and kind of like tackling things with compassion instead of just being angry back at them. So I recommend. And it's also like they've got reels to kind of help you feel better about your day. Like if you're dealing with past childhood trauma and stuff, being like, let's talk about it. Like, this is why you're feeling this way. And also like, I'm happy you're here and things like that. So
great.
It's like, if you need a little bit of sunshine in your day, I recommend it. And then my last nominee is Evan Rachel Wood, who is an actor from Westworld. She is openly queer and also an activist for sexual assault victims and things like that. So big fan of Evan. Also
played the voice of the mom in Frozen 2. And she can sing.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I know her from Westworld. So, but there you go. Sorry. And the Hoofy goes to Evan Rachel Wood because I also have a little bit of a crush on her.
Well, who wouldn't?
I know. Now that I know she sings, that gives her bonus points.
Yeah. She's also hot.
She's very hot.
She's, yeah.
So big fan.
Yeah. All right. For the Fangies' favorite queer public figure, the nominees are Billy Porter.
Excellent.
Who is an actor who I am honoring or recognizing his work this year because he was one of the most outspoken actors during the writers and actors strike about how hard it is for actors to make a living with the current or what was the status quo with streaming reimbursement. He is an Emmy Award-winning actor for a show that is very popular, but gets almost no money on the back end from all the work they put in on Pose.
Yeah.
Which is a Ryan Murphy show. Again, Emmy Award-winning show, Emmy Award-winning actor. The man had to sell his house during the strikes.
That's awful.
To be able to like survive in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like, so he was unapologetic about the situation he was in. He is unapologetic in general.
Yeah.
I think he is also somebody who I have learned, it's okay to not be warm and cuddly gay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to be bitchy gay.
Yeah, I was about to say mean, bitchy.
Across, mean gay. We don't have to be nice to people who are being assholes to us. And he embodies that in many ways.
Love it.
And also the fashion.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, like, I know him from just his amazing.
Just showing up at award shows.
Shit.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Always looking incredible. Also, I am honoring Troye Sivan, who we talked about on this podcast, pop musician, Australian, who just put out like a whole album of like queer joy, and is like unabashedly gay and young and like sex positive, and it was just like, look at this twink, like making the world a better place.
Yeah,
like,
dude,
we
I love it.
We stand Troye Sivan. And finally, Skylar Baylor.
Okay.
Who is a trans athlete who really in the last year has done a lot of advocacy around the issue of like trans athletes being banned from sports.
Yeah.
And helped me unpack like how no new outrage is really new. It all ties back to misogyny and racism.
Yeah.
Like, just because they're focused on trans kids now doesn't mean it's not also about Black athletes and it's not also about women.
Mm-hmm.
So Skylar had an outsized influence in my thinking on that very prevalent issue in 2023.
Nice.
And the Fangy goes to Troye Sivan.
Because he's cute.
Because he's really cute. And his music's a lot of fun.
I love how both of us defaulted to like they're cute.
He's just really
he's
and like
so pretty.
and if you haven't looked them up, there are like competing flash mob dancers from different parts of Asia doing his song.
Holy shit.
And they're all great and they're fun, but it's just like different countries on YouTube just started putting out these flash mob videos of Troye Sivan's Got Me Started. And I was like,
that's
love.
awesome. Yeah, for sure.
Love.
That's awesome.
So that was the 2023-ish Hoofies and the 2023 Fangies.
Mm-hmm.
Some of us followed the rules. What categories didn't we do that you think we should? Yeah. Or who would you nominate in the categories we did? Let us know in the comments on Patreon or through social media. We want to hear from you. Mm-hmm. Who's your queer public figure of the year?
Yeah.
What was your favorite book adaptation? Let us know.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that by following Hoof and Fang in all the places. We're Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And as previously mentioned, you can join our Patreon. And if you join today or in the next 10 days at the dear listener level, you will get Faces by A.M. Rose as a perk of membership. If you wait too long, you don't get that perk from the past. You just get it in the future.
Right.
So right when a book comes out is always the best time to sign up because that means you get that book and the next book, all for your first month's membership.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So we will be back next week, and we'll be talking with our first returning author guest.
Yes.
Your twin.
Yes,
J.S.
my twin.
Harker.
Yes.
So yeah, we'll be back next week. Bye, guys.